but we've got to start with our NBA Finals recap and give a shout out to the Boston Celtics because they just became the winningest franchise in NBA history as they defeated Dallas 4-1 to win their 18th championship. They were tied with the Lakers with 17. Now they go ahead. They are the winningest franchise in NBA history now. Let's look at some stats, Max. Jaylen Brown for the series averaged 21 points, 5.5 boards, and 5 assists. He shot 44% from the floor, 24% from deep, and 73% from the line. Let's look at his tag teammate here, Jayson Tatum. He averaged 22 points, 8 boards, 7 assists, shot 39% from the floor, 26% from deep, 93% from the line. He became the first Celtic ever in Game 5 with a 30-point, 10-assist game in the finals ever. First Celtic ever to do that.
Nice.
So Tatum averaged a little bit more points, rebounds, assists, shot better from deep and the line. But the finals MVP went to Jaylen Brown, Max. Did you agree with that?
It has to go to his defense. Is this why he won, Cobrizi? Because he was locking down. Yes. I mean, Luka was still doing his stuff, but hey, possession, getting a stop on a possession, you get your own possession out of that. Oh, yeah. And Jaylen Brown was forcing up some tough shots, getting some steals here and there. How many steals did he average, Cobrizi? Do you got that stat?
I don't have that.
They normally don't announce it. Yeah, but that's okay.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that if they were basing it off of defense, yeah, he absolutely deserved it because he played harder on defense than Jayson Tatum did.
Jaylen Brown had 8 steals for the series, 4 blocks, so solid. But yeah, I've got to agree with you. You know, the numbers are similar. Tatum's are a little better, but with that defense, two-way player, Jaylen Brown, he deserved it definitely. And if you watch the podium presser with him, Jaylen Brown said he definitely shares it with his brother Jayson Tatum. So that's great to hear. Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, they became the first Celtic duo ever with at least 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in the same game in a finals game.
Nice.
So this is one of the best duos. 26 and 27 they are now. My goodness, look out. But I also want to give a shout out to Drew Holiday. Averaged 14.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 4 assists in this series. Shot 54% from the floor and 42% from deep. And then also Derek White. That's part of a big four right there. He averaged 14 points, 5 boards, 2.5 assists, 39% from deep, 39% from the floor, 40% from deep, and he did not miss a free throw, Max.
Ooh, wow, perfecto.
Derek White, Colorado's finest. Okay, he's from out here in Colorado. All last summer, he trained at the gym that I work at, Pickup USA Fitness. Shout out Pickup USA. Got to meet D White last year. Put in the work. Now he's a champion. It's great to see a guy from Colorado succeeding. It's great.
Very nice.
You mentioned Luka Doncic. Shut down kind of for the series. He averaged 29 points, 9 rebounds, 5.6 assists.
That's the shutdown right there. They were forcing him to make tough passes or not even make a pass. Let just have him cough it up.
Didn't have to help. Jaylen Brown was able to play him one-on-one. Everybody else was able to stay home on those shooters. Luka averaged a career-high 9.8 assists during the regular season. That was second in the league to my guy Halliburton. 9.8 down to 5.6 in the finals.
Oof.
Luka shot 47% from the floor, 24% from deep,
whoa,
and 59% from the line.
That's not going to do it.
He attempted 2.9 less free throws per game in the finals than he did in the regular season. So basically 3 less free throw attempts per game in the finals. Kyrie Irving, he did what he could, man. 20 points a game, 3 boards, 5 assists, 41% from the floor, 28% from deep. All these 3-point percentages are shit right now.
Mm-hmm. Really
he
bad.
only had 9 free throw attempts, Max. Kyrie Irving had 9 free throw attempts in 5 games. Not getting much help from Kyrie, not getting much help from anybody else. PJ Washington averaged 10.8 points, 6 boards. Gafford with 8 and 4.5 boards. Derrick Jones Jr., 6.5 points, 3 boards. That's not enough, Max.
What's up with those rebound numbers? What the hell is that?
Holiday and Derek White were both over 14 a game. These guys can't match up with the depth. For the series, though, Boston only outscored them by 12 points. The series was 4-1, but on the scoreboard, 508 to 496. That's interesting. But the 3-point line, that was the biggest difference, Max. Joe Mazzulla, 35-year-old championship winning coach. He loves the 3-ball. Boston hit 70 threes in this series compared to Dallas's 48. That's a 66-point difference, Max. 66-point difference from the 3-point line, and also assists. The ball was moving. For Dallas, it sticks a little bit. It sticks with Luka. It sticks with Kyrie. They're one-on-one guys. For the assists in the series, Boston had 121, Dallas 84. That's plus 37 assists. That's biggest stats for me right there, Max. I want to give a shout out to Al Horford. Okay, what is he, 38 years old? 38 years old. He had the second most playoff games without a title, and now he gets it. Karl Malone is number one on that list with 193. What do you think about Al Horford?
Hey, congratulations to Al Horford. Long awaited. Okay, I remember when he was on the mid 2000s, early 2000s. He was on the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks had a good team. They had a really good team back then, but the Chicago Bulls beat them. I remember watching that with Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah. Oh man, that was awesome. Good series. But good for Al Horford. Okay, now he can finally probably step down when he's ready. If he wants to play more, then go for it. But he could probably finally just be like, you know what? I reached my goal. This was it. Championship. 38.
Yeah, I could see that too. One more shout out. We have to give out the NBA Executive of the Year, Brad Stevens. Okay, this guy pulled off 2 huge trades. He got Porzingis. Now, I know Porzingis was hurt, and he's about to undergo surgery for that, and he's going to be out for a couple months, okay? But he got Porzingis, who was a huge factor during the regular season and those first couple games in the finals. He got Porzingis and 2 first-rounders. Wow. For Marcus Smart, Danilo Gallinari, Mike Muscala, and a second-rounder. He got 2 firsts with Porzingis.
I don't know. I don't know how he did that. I don't know how you do that.
Gallinari, Muscala, not sure they're still in the league. Marcus Smart's a solid player.
Marcus Smart's good, yeah.
But you get 2 first-rounders with Porzingis, that's a huge win. And then Brad Stevens, how he traded for Drew Holiday. You know, Holiday goes to Portland in the Damian Lillard trade to Milwaukee. Portland doesn't want Drew. Drew doesn't want to be in Portland. We make a deal for Boston. Boston traded Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, and 2 first-rounders for Drew Holiday, and now they're champions. Brad Stevens, shout out to him. What do you think about Brad Stevens from Butler?
Oh, my gosh. Brad Stevens is one of the brightest minds in the NBA. Even when he was a coach, even when he was coaching, he was outstanding. And now that he's an executive, he just knows. I'm sure he's a sweet talker. Okay, I'm sure if you were to go out to dinner with him, you're gonna order salmon. He'll talk you into a steak. He'll talk you into it. I guarantee it.
Sweet talker. Nice. Boston had 17 wins during the regular season by at least 25 points. That is the most in NBA history, blowing people out. They had a 792 win percentage in the regular season and postseason combined. That is the second best in Boston Celtic history. Boston, through this postseason run, went 16-3. 16-3, Max. They lost 1 game to Miami. They lost 1 game to Cleveland. They swept my Pacers somehow and lost 1 game to Dallas. Boston 16-3. They became the second team ever to win a title in the 7-game series era with less than 4 losses throughout the entire postseason. Only the second time a champion has lost less than 4 games. The other team was the 2017 Warriors, went 16-1, KD and Steph. So, Max, this was the second most dominant playoff run that we've seen in decades. But does it feel like Boston had a dominant team that will be remembered?
That's a good question. When you think of Steph and KD, you're like, and then Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, you're like, this team, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, big-time names, big-time names, but Boston Celtics drafted them. They didn't trade for them. They drafted them. They built them, developed them. And then, you go and trade Drew Holiday, who's a big name. Don't get me wrong. He's a big player, but he's not Steph Curry. He ain't KD.
An all-star. One-time all-star.
One-time all-star.
back when he was in Philly, and I think that's it.
No, he's a great basketball player, you know, and I think that's what Brad Stevens was going for. He wasn't going for the head cases, right? He wasn't going for the guys that only want to rack up the stats, right? Rack up the points. He was looking for guys that will do the dirty work, play some defense, move the ball around, hit the open shot, you know, and who's not going to be a head case even in the locker room. Brad Stevens is the man, and I love seeing a team like this. It brings. I think I brought this up. Maybe I brought it up to my client. They are the Boston Celtics this year reminded me of old school basketball because they were playing defense, because they were playing as a team and moving the ball around,
moving it.
Yeah, that's why you end up being 60. What were they? 65 and 17. What was it? Something like that.
64 and 16.
Something like that. And then plus the playoffs.
64 and 18. Yep.
This was a team. They were not just reliant on one player. They had a team. We already named out all the stats. The 4 guys that are averaging at least 14 points.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done, Boston Celtics. You're the most winningest organization in WNBA history. Well deserved.
W.
Did I say W? NBA. I'm too much.
I see where your head's at.
Too much Caitlin Clark on my mind, everybody. Too much
where
Caitlin
your head's
Clark.
at. Definitely one of the best Celtics teams ever. A 16-3 postseason run is dominant. Shout out Brad Stevens. Shout out Drew Holiday, one of my favorite players. 80-19 record, regular season and postseason. 80-19. We're gonna remember this team, Max. We're gonna remember this team.
Heck yeah.